Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Ruck Up Buttercup. It's just me and Ashley today. We're just here for a girl chat. We are kind of both really excited because it's almost fall and I love fall.
I know, me too. It's I'm such a basic white girl answer, but fall is 100% my favorite. Like I love getting to wear like sweatshirts and just snuggle up with a book. It's just
Hibernating. Going back
it's
into
my
hibernation.
favorite. Like I love summer. I love going to the beach. I love going to the pool. I love it. But at the same time, I am just more comfortable. Like I love hiking, and Sabrina's the same way. Like we like things that are just more enjoyable in the fall. Yeah, we can do it in the spring, but it's always raining so much in the spring. So hiking, sitting outside with a good cup of coffee or whatever, reading a book. I was just telling her, Sabrina, before we came on today, that we went up to the mountains in North Carolina for a week, and we were like, oh, let's go to the lake. And it ended up being so cold. And I was like, thank goodness I brought a sweatshirt. And so I was sitting outside in my sweatshirt, and I was wrapped up in a blanket, and I had my book. And I was like, okay, I'm fine. Like the kids were really bummed because they couldn't go swimming. But I mean they could, but it was really cold. It was like 60 degrees and we had just came from like 98 degrees. So it was kind of a shock to our system.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh yes. I was like, I'm gonna soak this in because we're moving to Georgia and I will not have this
Right.
until probably December.
I love the cozy, but yeah, we're not in New Mexico. It's southern New Mexico, so it's hot. And it's funny because we have the air conditioner on, so I have like a sweater on, so I'm always cold. But then as soon as I go outside, I'm like, oh no, it's still hot out here. It's very hot out here.
Well, and I don't know what it is. Like right when school starts, I'm immediate and it's so funny, as soon as August 1st hits, it's just immediately it's cozy fall season. Like I know there's a lot of people who are like it's spooky season, and as much as I love spooky season as well, I just really just enjoy the whole fall element. So I'm like me and the kids were looking at Halloween decorations the other day, and they're like, can we put Halloween decorations up at the new house? I was like, yeah. And I was like, but we might wait till Dad leaves because he might side eye me with if I purchase any more.
You do have the benefit this year of you can decorate whenever you want.
I do. And I already.
I'm like, I want to put Christmas up as soon as Thanksgiving's over. And he's always like, it has to be the first. I'm like,
no, anytime Jeremy is gone over the holiday season, I typically will have my holiday, the 1 year he was gone through November up until December, he was home for Christmas. This will be the first year he's not been home for Christmas since the kids were born. And we've been very, very fortunate. We were actually having that conversation the other day of him not potentially being home. And we've already discussed that he may come home for Christmas if he gets to get leave. But I was like, we can't even make that plan until you physically get to Poland and you get there and you find out what that training schedule and stuff is. So, I was like, but I was telling kids, I was like, we might be just putting Christmas stuff up. One, I'm just so excited to decorate this house because it has this gorgeous stairwell coming down. And I just like the first thing I walked in, I was like, that's gonna be looking great. And some greenery and stuff hanging down. So
the lights. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was already okay, well, we might put up stuff before Thanksgiving. So, and during COVID, I had the Christmas tree up November 1st. And Jeremy's like, what are you doing? I was like, I need joy in my life right now. So I was like, we'll probably do the same thing just because one, we really enjoy decorating. The kids love getting the Christmas stuff up. They love putting the trees and getting all the festive stuff because that's typically the only time of year that I actually decorate for a holiday. This house, we didn't really have a lot of shelf space or anything like that. So I didn't put any decorations out at any of the other holidays. So this year they were like, can we do Halloween decorations? And I'm like, yeah. Cause we have a cute little little front porch this year that's covered. So I can put stuff out on the front porch. And so that's kind of one of the things that we're like, oh, I
know, I'm excited for that settled cozy feeling because last year we were in that huge transition where we weren't even in a house of our own. And we were in a house, but not our own house for Christmas or Halloween or Thanksgiving. We were just kind of floating in a transition period. And it was so sad to not have all my treasures on the Christmas tree. We were using my grandparents' tree and it was nice to kind of have those old memories. But I'm so excited to have our house and our settled and we know where the tree's gonna go, and we have a fireplace in this house, so it's gonna be so cute at Christmas time. And
yeah, we have a fireplace in this one too, and it's
just I can turn on the ambiance. Oh yeah, because the last house in Arizona, we were only there for 6 months, but we weren't there for any holidays.
Yeah.
And so there wasn't that, you never had that time to like, decorate and make it feel cozy. And then I feel like that's what really like engraves that this is your home
I
because
think so too, like, when you get to do like, when you get to
you have some
celebrate a
memories.
birthday or a
Mhm.
holiday or a special occasion, like, I'm kinda sad, like, we're leaving, we're in the middle of packing once again during our anniversary, like, our anniversary, like, is in 2 days from now, and I'm like, we're gonna be in the middle of packing and moving again during our anniversary. And I was like, it's fine because like, my thankfully like we're close to my in-laws. So the in-laws are taking the kids for a couple weeks while we move so that they're, not bored, they're not in the way, they're gonna have fun and get to, spend time with my in-laws. Thankfully they're retired, so they're like, let us have them. They were like, we'll take them for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, you don't need to take them for 3 weeks. That's a lot. They're like, no. And I'm like, okay. Which I don't think they're taking them for 3 weeks. They're probably only taking them for 2. I think it's just going to depend on when we get our stuff delivered. But I was just like, oh, we'll just celebrate. We'll go do something fun like when the kids are gone and we'll just, have fun and all that kind of stuff. But it's
It's kind of like an anniversary celebration. I mean, you'll be alone in a hotel at least some of the
it's
days.
fine. I don't even think we're staying in a hotel, to be honest, because like we are literally like our stuff is getting picked up. We're keeping a mattress because we're doing like we have Jeremy's bike and stuff, so we're renting a U-Haul and everything. So we're gonna have stuff with us, and we're literally, I mean, we're only driving. I mean, Benning's only 6 hours from us, so it's not like we have to stay at a hotel or anything like that. We are actually gonna drive halfway. My in-laws are like literally a midway point from where we are now, so we're gonna drive down, stay the night with them. His mom's birthday's the 27th. And so we were like, well, we'll stay the night. We can do breakfast with you and things like that. And then we have to be down in Georgia by 3 o'clock to do closing. So we're like, we have that plan, and then we just are going to move into the house. So it worked out really well for us this time around. Where the last time we moved up here, we had to stay in a hotel and stuff like that. But
So be
uh,
alone in the empty house. You can break in all the surfaces.
we can.
No kids.
Well, we were laughing because, like, I
It's
mean,
your
and
first
we
house you own, though. It feels like you need
it
to.
is. It's such a weird feeling. Like I'm almost 40, y'all, and like I'm like I keep kind of like I keep joking with Jeremy. I was like, we're officially grown ups. Like we're buying our first house, and I'm like, I can't believe we're almost 30. But like and even this, like we're doing some remodeling. This home was built in 2011, so like it's all builder grade stuff from 2011. And so, that was one of the reasons I like my in-laws are keeping, because we can do a couple things before everything
Yeah.
arrives and things like that. And then Jeremy's going to be there for the month. Like he's taking the whole month of September off, and then he leaves for Poland, which I think is like what's stressing me out right now is we don't have his like date yet. Like they are kind of giving him the runaround of like, getting flights and stuff booked. And I think that's like a huge thing when you come to moving, like the stressors that you feel during move time. Because not only are you stressing to pack and to find a new home and to leave your home and all that kind of stuff, but like there's other things that play like a
I feel like
huge
so much
role.
of it is just the unknown, like not
It
knowing what
is
that's
like
going to look like and feel
and
like.
not having control. Like I don't classify myself as like someone who likes to have control, but I do. Like I like to have a sense of control. Like I know there's a lot of things out of my hand. That is just something that has just been drilled into my brain as a military brat and as a military spouse of 15 years. Like there are going to be so many things outside of your control. So like you can control the things you can control. Like and that makes things like, so I'm like, okay, I can control organizing the house and making sure it's perfect for the mover, so that way everything's where it is and it's going to be that way when it gets there. And then at the same time making sure that I have all my ducks in a row. Thankfully Jeremy has handled a lot this year. Like typically I handle a lot of like the moving parts, but he's done a lot of that. But I'll probably also just is because of my like vertigo that I've been dealing with. But he has he's organized everything so far. I have not had to do really anything, and it's been fantastic because typically it's me, but he's also typically working like right before moving. Like
A
right
lot
now
more.
he's at a ROTC program and no one's here, so like he's only going into the office for a couple hours a day, and that's when he's doing his working, which is he's just organize and everything and all that kind of stuff. So it's been really nice to not have to do any of that because boy, like that's just like ugh. Like another thing that has to go on your list. Like I have to call utilities here and schedule them. I still have to do that because all the utilities are in my name because I always put the utilities in my name. That's just something I do because if he's gone and utilities, if your name's not on the account, it's a huge hassle. So I always put the utilities on in my name. And we've done that for the last several years. Even that way I don't have to pull out the POA or anything like that when he's gone. And it's definitely something I definitely suggest. And even if
we decided this house that we put both of us on them, and then that way,
and I think that's you should do that because like if something happens to you, or if you're not able to make a payment, or like if you're not able to call make a payment, if it's someplace that you have to call, like here we have to go in and pay the water bill, either call or we have to go physically in. They don't have an online portal or anything like that, which is such a pain.
It's
but
crazy to me when you find places like that. You're like, what do you mean?
I'm in a little town in the mountains of Virginia, so like I get it. I'm kind of like blown by it. So like I typically just call, but like this time I'm gonna go in because I need to be like, hey, like I need to turn the water
But
off.
it is really good to have both of you on it because there's things that come up that you don't think about. Like in Arizona, in order to like some of the homeschooling stuff that we were trying to do there, they wouldn't take a lease. They wouldn't take my driver's license with the address on it. Like a lot of these things, and all they wanted was a utility bill.
That's
No,
crazy to
they
me.
wouldn't take anything except for utility bill, and we didn't have my name on anything. And so it was like this whole, like we were going to have to get a special thing and go get it notarized to get it turned in. And it was just like, so it's just so much easier this time.
Like all the things you don't think about. Like that's all
Mhm.
the little things that you don't think about. Like, changing the address to your banking, changing all of those things come to play, and it can be very overwhelming. And something that I've done over the years, specifically for those things, like one, I make a list. I'm a list girly. If you've listened to the podcast, you know that. Like I make a list. I remember when I moved, I don't do this anymore, but when I moved to Alaska, I had a binder. Now, granted, I had a binder because we were driving and we were driving during an off season. So I was like, I had to be like on the dot, plan out our stops because if we didn't stop, we ran out of gas. We were SOL. There were only certain hotels that were open that allowed the dogs to stay. And the dogs had to stay in the hotel because it was like -degree weather and stuff like that. So I had to plan that out to a T. Have I done that since? No. Also, I've had kids since then, so it's not something
There's not enough time for that.
It's not. But if we were moving overseas, I would probably have like a really like more like
and if you aren't sure what to put on that, there are so many.
Oh, there's so many.
There's so many different places.
And
there's
it's
apps
easy
too. I'm pretty sure there's PCS.
There's a great app by Milspouse Move, I think is what it is. And it has like a checklist. And I did use that a couple years ago because we have a whole podcast with them on it. It's from like season 1. So like I'll have to go back and check that for you guys. But there is an app and it has a great it has everything listed down to what you may need to do. There's some things on there that I'm like, I never do, or I just did it a different way. And I think that's one thing that you can learn to like, what works best for you and your family. Because once again, I'm going to say it again, it is going to depend on what you and your family.
It totally does. It depends on like where you're going, like how you're moving.
Yeah. Like we always do kind of a partial dating because when we have just things that we always drive. So like when we went to Alaska, we drove. Now we did not pull a U-Haul on either of those moves just because we knew that one that's just really rough on U-Haul trailers and stuff like that. But, Jeremy drove back down. I flew down with Devlin when we moved back from Alaska because I was just like, there's no way I'm driving from Alaska to Texas with a 9-month-old. Yeah. It would have been miserable. The drive to Alaska, just the two of us, was the worst experience I ever experienced because it was like middle of blizzard in April, like wide out, couldn't see. And I like just have like a lot of like anxiety over car accidents. And so I was like, I sat with a blanket over my head for 3 days. Like I was like, no, we're not doing that. But like, we made that decision like, okay, hey, I flew home. I ended up flying home to visit family with Devlin. like a week before Jeremy even left. So I was down there for a couple weeks. Jeremy drove, he stopped and saw some friends on his way there. And I always suggest that, like, if you are traveling during a PCS, see your friends, stop and see family, make it a trip. I mean, obviously that's if you have leave save up, but most people have enough leave to take at least 2 weeks or an extra week with what you're allotted to move for, and enjoy your time. Don't rush it. Don't, I mean, obviously if you don't have family and friends on the way, like that can be an issue, but there's so many things, and there's like so many people out there that can help you guys figure out like what you guys should do on your trip and stuff like that. I mean, that's where that planning can come down. Like if you plan it, like you could find things like that. But I always do a checklist, at least, though. A checklist of what needs to get done, when it needs to be done by. Like for instance, this move is kind of a two-parter. We have our household goods going to Georgia, and then Jeremy has stuff getting picked up to go to Poland. So like our first task was to clear out a space
Separate those things, yeah.
for his things that we can rope off and say, do not pack it. Because y'all, listen, if you've not done a PCS move before, let me explain something to you. If you don't mark it off, like, obviously, like, I'm not even sure how I'm going to mark this off to make it be like, don't touch anything in this room. But like, you empty your trash cans, like you have to do some stuff to prep for moving. Even if you have a moving company coming to box you up and prepping, you have to go through your food, you have to go through anything and everything to make sure that it is ready to go. Like make sure your dishwasher is emptied and everything's put away, or they're not going to get those dishes in the dishwasher. Things that you have to do to prep for your move. But if you list it out and kind of like task it out to like who's going to do what, it can make the transition so much smoother. Jeremy's on top of his stuff. Like he's organized everything down here in his space. And I'm slowly working. Like if you all are watching us on YouTube, you can see I've been like slowly packing up my office. But my goal is we hope to have downstairs done by the end of this week. So then that way it's ready to go. Like everything's ready to go because they start, and like that's the other thing. Like packing could take a day. They could
Depends on the movers.
They can have it scheduled for 3 days, like for shorter hours. Like I think they have us scheduled for 3 days. Like it's not gonna take them 3 days to do this, but they did that when we moved here, and they only came out for a few hours, which was kind of irritating to me because I was just like, why not just be here all day and pack and just be done instead of me having to kind of like, I don't know, stand around. But that's just also me. Like I was like, I could be doing more with my time, but
yeah.
and
Also, as we get into the fall season, I hope that people are like maybe getting on the tail end of your PCS. I know that when this comes out, Ashley will probably be moving.
Well, and I've been seeing a lot
so much
of
better.
I feel, well, yeah, hopefully by this point, all those who are doing like the late end PCSing, like that August time frame, are settled in. Like they are in their homes, they're unpacking, they're getting everything. Like I've been seeing a bunch of posts about like everyone's, stuff is arriving from the beginning of the PCS season is arriving now from like further moves. And I've seen a lot of people post like we arrive in August, which I'm glad I'm not the only one. I feel like I was like, dang, this is going to suck, like arriving at the end of August. But I'm not the only one.
Well, it's convenient that you chose to homeschool because otherwise, like right this time of year is back to school,
My
and that
school.
would be super complicated if you were moving with kids. Because I don't know whether you would start at one school and move.
Well, and that's like a common question, and I think don't stress about it. Don't stress about it. Like if you are moving anytime during school season,
take that time off. I mean, the reality is they're not going to fall that far behind by missing 2 weeks of school. Like,
and if you're really worried about it,
whatever.
Well, and the first couple weeks of school, anyways, isn't anything new. It's going to be a refresher. It's a refresher. It's going to be a refresher. It's going to be learning school rules, all that kind of stuff. Like if you really want them to not follow behind, just have them doing like what I'm doing with mine. Like even though I'm homeschooling, we won't start our actual homeschooling, like all of the subjects, until we get settled in the new house. So they won't start until September. But I'm like, okay, well, we're still going to be doing stuff. Like you guys aren't just getting off like gun hole. So like, we're doing Prodigy, we're doing Bottle. We have these little workbooks that I picked up at the beginning of the summer that are like bridge books. So like I was like, which was great because it's got a lot of things that they already know, and there's opportunities to show them like what's coming up for their school year. Like there's been things that I've had to sit down and work with Claire, and there's other times where she's been fine and working on her own. And I think that was great. And like, Devin was like struggling with multiplication the other day, and it's just because he hasn't practiced it. So I was like, okay, cool. We're going to do multiplication flashcards, and you're going to re-practice your multiplication, to be ready for school year. And same thing with Claire. Like, she started counting on her fingers for just 10 digits. And I was like, you should know anything within the 10 digits. So I was like, we're going to do flashcards for plus and minus in the tens. So you can like, 9 minus 4 is 5. Like, quick action where she's not taking like all this time to like count on her fingers or on a number chart. And that's something easy you can do. And that's all they're going to be learning at the beginning of the school year is refreshing what they learned last year. So that way,
do like a really slow transition anyways. So like we always start with like, maybe 2 subjects for a week or 2, and then we like slowly add them on.
Yeah, that's all I'm doing. Like they're reading. I may send some when they go to my in-laws. I may send like some spelling words for them to kind of like study, just to kind of be prepared for those. And then they're reading. And if they don't, like I told I was like, don't even worry about, like, if you guys end up being so busy that day, just don't worry about it. Like, just they can. It's right now. I'm not worrying about it.
And that applies to anybody. Like even if you're not homeschooling, the fact is, kids aren't gonna fall behind. Most of us go all summer without.
If you're not gonna, if you're gonna keep your kid out of school for like more than, I don't know. I would say like anything past October, that's when you would want to make sure they're starting to like get some type of curriculum. But those first 4-ish weeks, like it really is just refresher, learn, like, building on what they learned from the previous grade, but not like to an extensive. So I would not stress about it. Like I know I've seen a lot of people like, what am I going to do? Like, do I put them in for 4 weeks and then take them out for a couple weeks and then put them back in? And you got to do what's best for you guys. I mean, if putting your kids into school, I mean, I know my kids would have been.
That works out, especially with the PCS, where like, even though, you're going to be yanking them back out, but it gives you the chance to pack and to clean.
Well, it gives them some time with their friends. Like, it's not like, I mean, unless like you weren't there very long, and this is like, if it's a kindergartner, I say if you have a kindergartner, don't even worry about it, because most states you don't have, they don't even, it's not even really required. So like, just stay home, practice some basic sight words,
read some books,
count to 10, read, like, like if it's kindergartners, don't even worry about it. Pre-K, kindergarten, that is not something to worry about. Even first grade, like first grade is important, but at the same time, like you can start them late and they'll be okay. And it'll be fine.
But I do love this time of year though. I love school just for the routine. Because I feel like during the summer it is pure chaos. Like I love the idea that I can sleep in, I can do nothing all day if we really want to, and that's nice. But like knowing that, hey, we're gonna get up, we have this to get done, then I have time for work, and everything kind of stays on a schedule, and then I'm done by the time my husband gets off work, and I'm like it all flows so much better.
And everyone just thrives on routine. Like it doesn't have to be like a strict routine, but like if you have like, okay, like these days is when we're doing our schoolwork with the like morning schoolwork or afternoon schoolwork or whatever works in your schedule, and just having that like one like expectation of this has to happen. Like you're not gonna just like summertime, like I love summer, but at the same time, like it's just pure chaos because it constantly feels like you're trying to keep your head above water because like, your kids are like, well, I just want to play video games, or I just want to watch TV. It's too hot to go outside. Or
I have a really bad problem of like creating unrealistic expectations for different things. And summer's one of those where I'm like, we are going to go to the pool. We are going to go to there's all these things that I'm like, we're going to do. And then when it doesn't happen, I just end up being sad. And I'm like, so
like we didn't do anything again this summer. Like I was just like the last 2 summers, I'm like, oh, we're going to go do all these things. And then I'm just like, it's August 5th. Like where did this
get older? I feel like as they get older too, they have more interest in their books, their things at home and stuff too. So they're not like, okay, what are we doing for the day? They're like, do we have to? Especially my teenager, like, do I have to go with you to that? It's like, yeah, we're all going to this. You have to go. So like, when you get back into the school routine, there's a little less expectations. You're just like, hey, all we know is that every day we're going to do school. It doesn't look the same every day. It doesn't
Yeah.
look like some days we don't do anything. Like I know tomorrow we're going on a field trip with our homeschool group. There's no school involved. I'm not. They will
Yeah.
read. That's their only assignment is going to be to do reading. And
Yeah. And
that's okay.
I mean, and you know, because we both homeschool, like you'll hear us refer to that a lot, but like the same thing comes with like school. Like if if a brick and mortar school is what's best for your family, that's okay. Get them in school, get them settled. And I think that like, you know, when we move and stuff like that, we get a lot of pressure and worry about where our kids are going to go to school. And every family makes the decision what fits best for them, whether it's a private school, brick and mortar, homeschool, whatever the case may be. I wouldn't stress too much about it. Like I would just like, you know, your kids are going to be fine, especially if you're an involved parent. Like if you're an involved parent in your child's education, no matter what avenue you're going to go into, that is all that matters. Like even if you are like none of these schools are working for me, but I can't homeschool because I work. Like that's fine. If you're involved with your school, whether it's PTA, reaching out to the teacher in a respectful manner, I should also mention that. Like, if you're just involved, you're helping your kids with their homework and things like that, their education is going to be fine. Like, it's not going to affect them if they're going to a Title I school or they're going to the best school in the district. The only difference is the support that the child may have, but if you're supporting your child, they're gonna have a good education, and I'm a
Yeah,
firm
and you're
believer
still
in
gonna have
that.
a routine. And I feel like even if my kids were in public school, I feel like I would still love fall because it's still the like, hey, we get to see each other in the mornings. There's the you build in more of those times where you're
But it's
actually connecting.
It's cozy. It's a time. I feel like it's just a really good time to kind of one reflect because like you go from the holiday season and then you go into spring, which is typically really busy because
And
especially
at
like if you have
school.
kids in schools and stuff like that, like it's testing, you're ramping up for the end of school year. There's all of those extra like curricular activities in schools, whether it's dances or sports or anything like that. And yeah, there's sports in other seasons too, but like I feel like spring is just very busy with all of the extra things, like end of the year, like ceremonies and all that kind of stuff. Even for our if you're working or your spouse, like it just seems to be a little bit more busy because we've out of winter months and all that kind of stuff. And then you go into summer, which is just pure chaos in my opinion. Like I feel like it's just survive through the summer, survive the heat, survive moving or any of those changing parts. So fall seems like the only time where everything just kind of settles and it's just slower and a little bit calmer and you get to be excited for the holiday seasons and things like that coming up and you can just take a moment to reflect. And I think that's why I love it so much because it's one of those times where we could still be busy, but it's not like I don't know. I feel like spring's just expensive to me because, like I said, like you, if your child's in dance or gymnastics or anything like that, you have on competitions. It's the end of the year stuff, and it's just so much. And I just love fall weather, like the colors,
Yeah,
the
I try to enjoy every season, like
season.
as and like trying really not to like focus on what's next because August is definitely still summer. And like
Mhm.
although you want it to be September and you want
It's
the fall to
100%
come,
so.
it's still summer. And so we're trying really hard to like, okay, we can still go to the pool a couple more times. It's still
Yeah.
open for a few weeks. Like why
Well, and
not?
I think that's like a great thing too. Like, don't just like just because school starts. Because I mean, school starts. I mean, you have kids who already started school like now it's beginning of August when we're recording this. And then you have some kids who are not even starting until the very end of the month. Like our school here actually isn't even starting until the beginning of September, but that's just because they were supposed to start on the 20th, but then they're remodeling the school, so they're not done yet. So just go with the flow. Like I feel like just, enjoy
I
what
think
you have.
that comes with age because I feel like so
Yeah.
much more in like my 20s and maybe my early 30s. It was like those seasonal bucket lists, and you're like, okay, well, we got
Yeah.
to check off the things, we got to do
I
all the
stopped making bucket
things.
lists
I
because
just
then if I don't hit them, I like you said earlier, I was like, I
like
just get like, we didn't
disappointment.
do anything.
Yeah,
We did so much this summer. We drove to India. I mean, that wasn't on our plan to go to Indiana. I mean, fortunately, we went for a funeral, but we went to Indiana for a few days, and then we came home for like a week, and then we went to my mom's house for a week, and then we came home for a week, and then I don't even remember. Like, that's, like, it's been, like, we have been going back and forth so much this summer that I think that's just why it flew by, and there wasn't a lot of opportunities. I mean, I think we've gone to the pool twice this summer. But I also
Mhm.
say, like, this summer has been also extremely stormy and rainy here, at least on the East Coast. Like, the weather has just not been ideal for summer, like, activities. Like, we've had, like, severe thunderstorms, like, 3 to 4 times a week. It's not been fun. So that's also
Now
been,
you're
like,
going
I
into
really
hurricane season, so it's just gonna continue to rain
I
forever.
know, I know. Well, and then, like, that's what it's like when I was like, and one of the things, like, I don't try to look too far ahead, but, like, that's the other thing. I was like, "Oh, we're gonna have so much more severe weather when we move to Georgia compared to the mountains of Virginia and stuff," but it's fine because, like, one, like, that's a learning opportunity that I get to have with my kids. Like, we get to talk. Like, one of the huge things for us when we move is that we get so excited. We get to learn about a new place. We get to learn and experience a new culture, new foods, new places, new everything. And so we always do, like, we've been watching, well, now we get to do two because Jeremy's going to Poland. We do plan to visit. So we've been watching videos of, like, things to do in Georgia, and we've been watching things to do in Poland and all that kind of stuff. And that, I feel like, is a great way to, especially if you have kids, to get them excited if they're not excited about moving to a different location. Because, even though we've always lived in the South, the kids have never lived in Georgia, and we're living far south. Like, we're living down, and we're actually living in the Alabama side. So, I was like, talking to him about all the different things we can go do and how close we'll be to this place and this place so we can go do those trips and stuff. And I think that's a fun way to look at moving. And it's also just a super fun way for you to look at, like, if you have an upcoming deployment, like, don't just stay home. Like,
Right.
experience
It
it,
is that
travel.
transit. That's
Don't
kind of
do
the
that.
downfall of fall is
Yeah.
they do kind of change rotations in. That is
Yeah.
just unfortunate. I mean, that's why Deployed Love exists, because we do the holiday minis for the families who know that's coming up. Like, we usually do them in the fall, not actually at Christmas time, but we do them in the fall, and those families, they may not even be separated yet. So they just know it's coming, and it I don't know. I don't know why they do that. I don't know why they start them at the beginning. I mean, but at the
I
same time, those other families want their families back for the holidays too. So, like, in fairness, it is what it
I
is.
don't know. I don't know if it's I kind I mean, my, just thinking logistic wise, like, you really don't want to move hundreds and hundreds of soldiers during the hottest time of the
Well,
year.
and I think that also
Yeah.
lands with the PCS season. They know
Yeah.
that some of them are going to need to move, so they get all that transition done, and then it's like as soon
And
as
then
everybody's
it's
kind of settled in, now we
yeah.
see where the units are going, which sucks because especially like Ashley, like you're going through, like, we're just doing this move, and then all of a sudden goodbye, like that. It's
Yeah.
just gonna like that.
And I think that's kind of like a huge thing for me because one, this is not something I've experienced before. Like, I've grown up in the military my entire life. No, that's wrong. I mean, when we moved to Germany, my dad, like, when we first moved to Germany, actually my dad was already gone by the time I got there. So when we moved to Germany, he was already deployed to Kosovo before me and my sisters even got there. Because typically in the summertime, we would go to my bio dad's, my grandmother's for the summer, and then my mom would move everything, and then we would come towards the end of summer right before school started. And so, I mean, that did happen to me, but, like, that was just pretty normal for me when growing up. My dad was always gone. He was a ranger, special forces, so he was just gone all the time. So, like, it really just didn't, like, click in my head that was something I've experienced before. But it is different with this. Like, this is just different. Like, he's one, like, I'm trying not to be resentful, and I'm not resentful. I'm jealous. I'm so jealous, y'all, that he's going to Europe. Like, I love Europe. I spent 5 years there. I want to go back so bad, but I'm also so excited for him. Like, he's getting to experience something that I got to experience. I think he's nervous because he doesn't know what his job's going to be because it's not his typical, like, MOS. So there's all that. But, like, he keeps showing me these, like, gorgeous, like, apartments downtown, and I'm just like, I hate you.
And
I
he
love
can get like a nice one bedroom because it's just him. That's, yeah, so nice.
Like, I mean, like, he showed me the one the other day, and it had this gorgeous built-in, like, bookshelf, and then it had this gorgeous, like, garden patio and this, like, big kitchen, and I'm just like, uh-huh,
Yeah.
uh-huh. Like, I'm
See,
just
so
like,
it is totally different
I
because I'm
hope you're
thinking like,
just working
oh,
so much you can experience it.
yeah, I
No,
was
I'm just
thinking when I moved to Hawaii and married Dustin or whatever, I also knew there was this huge
yeah.
deployment on the front, and that was why we moved because I was like, I need to be near the military, and That was
It
hard
happened.
because we just had gotten a house, and we had just gotten bought all these used furniture and stuff, right? And then it was like, okay, well, now I'm gone for a year. And like that,
Well,
it
and
does
that was
happen.
from
It does
Jeremy.
happen a lot.
We were very fortunate that Jeremy's first duty station was Bragg, and our both our parents were still at Bragg because they were active duty. So I wasn't kind of like put into a situation where like we moved someplace and then he deployed. But as soon as he got to Bragg, he would deploy. Like when he finished basic airborne school, he was deployed within 3 months for 12 months. And so it happens. Now, I don't feel like that's the same case scenario necessarily nowadays. Obviously, deployments aren't 12 months long unless it's like an unaccompanied tour. And
But there are a lot of unaccompanied now too,
there's a
though.
lot of unaccompanied tours, and I feel like a lot of people interchange their verbiage, and I try not to get like annoyed by it because one, they're baby spouses and they don't know better. But I think a lot of people think anything when a spouse is away is a deployment. A deployment is when a service member is in a location that is hostile.
I think that when we made the card, the definition was like it
Yeah,
has to be mission ready.
mission ready. Like they're on alert at all times. Like there is a potential of there to be some type
They don't
of
have that freedom, like where your husband's going to
yeah,
Poland, like he'll still be like a
he's able
civilian,
to
like he can go
travel.
out and do things. Yeah,
And other locations are like that too. They may be a little bit more stricter where you can go and things like that, but like there is a difference, and it's okay, but it's okay to feel sad about it no matter what, like whether it's a deployment, an unaccompanied tour. I
and
feel
however
unaccompanied
long it
tours are
is. Like we
harder.
were talking about, like just moving somewhere and then them leaving. That happened here. Like we literally had just gotten into our house, and he's like, "Okay, well now on the 2 days from now, I have to go." And he was in DC for almost 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and it's the same thing. It
And
was
it's
like
like,
I was just dropped off, and it was like, "Okay, hope you can figure out where to
yeah.
get groceries. Hope you can figure out where to do this, that, and the other thing on your own." And it's hard no matter what.
And I think that's something, as like if you're listening and you're definitely a baby milspo, like find that freedom, find that like
The
you can do it. I
independence.
promise you that it might be hard and you may want to sit in your car and cry at times, but you can figure it out. Like you can I mean, heck, like again, like there's your person. You will, even if you just find one person to help you, it'll make life so much easier for you guys. But just, you know, don't overthink it. Don't overdo it too though. So like don't think you can take on anything and everything and always do anything and everything. Like make sure you are having that partnership with your partner. But also know that you can handle anything that's thrown your way. I keep joking. I keep joking. I need to stop joking because something horrible is going to happen. But, there's Murphy Law. We all know it. We all experience it in some way, whether it's severe or not severe. And I'm just like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Like, I'm buying a house for the first time and Jeremy is leaving to move overseas. Like, what's going to happen? Like, I'm like, and I told him the other day, we were sitting there and I was like, I hope whatever it is, it better be freaking fantastic and it better make me laugh down the road because I know it's going to happen. Like it never fails. Something crazy is going to happen. Hopefully it's something super crazy. And thank goodness my in-laws are still 4 hours away. So like if something does crazy happen, I do have support. I'm also moving to a place where we know individuals too, which is always really nice. I think that's a perk of being more of a seasoned spouse is you have that opportunity of like, oh, we know someone who's there now. Our new spouses don't necessarily have that opportunity yet, but it's
It does
coming.
come. It does come.
It
It's kind
does
of like
come.
super
I
weird.
know. Like I'm like, I wasn't really looking forward to moving, and I was really, really hoping to go back to Bragg. Like we've talked about that last couple of episodes, because I was like, I have friends still there. I have a support system still there. But then when we didn't get Bragg, and they're like, it's Benny. I was like, oh, I can make Benning work. I have friends. I know people down at Benning. I'm okay with this. Like, I'm okay that I know that if something absolutely crazy happens, I know one of those individuals will be like, yes, I can help you.
And sometimes those are people that were so far like back in your like
Yeah.
lifetime. The two girls that I went to the concert with this weekend are friends from 10, almost
Yeah.
11 years ago. We have
I
barely
have a friend from
even talked since then, but now we're like, yay. I'm like, I don't even need to make new friends here because I'm like, I have you guys right here and we can see each
yeah.
other. And it makes me feel so much better than even like Arizona where I knew nobody. And as a baby
Yeah.
spouse, that's how it was. You'd move and you'd be like, oh man, this is going to take forever to find a
Yeah.
person.
I have a friend from high school that lives down there, and that was one of the first things I did. I was like, And I was like, and I wasn't sure she was still like in that area or if she had moved further out. So I like messaged her, and we're friends on Facebook. Like we talk every once, like we, comment on each other's posts and stuff like that every once in a while. But like we haven't, like I haven't seen her in 16. So I saw her when Jeremy was at Bank. So 16, 17 years. So I went down when Jeremy was at A&T and met up with her when he was there. And so, yeah. And I haven't seen her since then. And I was like, hey, are you still there? And her son is like the same age as Devlin. So like, I was like, well, we'll have to definitely get
I
together.
know. I'm so excited for it. It's just that fact that like just having built-in friends, but also it's really nice because on our case, it's our spouses all get along really well too. So now I'm like, I know we have like these people that we can just hang out with, and we don't have to like really think about it already.
And
So
that's always fun, like when you get to reconnect with your military spouse friends, because like we move so often, and I'm a horrible person at this. Like I'm horrible. I mean, unless like Sabrina, I talk to her like once a week, like twice, or at least every other week, like
I
before
feel
the
like
podcast.
that probably at least once a week
But
with
like we
work and
talk,
stuff
like
too.
I get to talk to her enough, but like there's other friends where like I don't get to talk. I don't talk to them all that often because when my life is just really crazy busy, and I feel like a horrible friend for this. But then like I've had so many conversations with my friends who feel the same way about this. Like they're like, I wish we could like video chat once a week or something like that, but like life is just so busy, especially like when you're that primary parent and you're handling everything at home and you're going through different seasons of life. Sometimes it can fall on the wayside. But what I think is really nice about, or really cool about military spouses specifically, is like you could, I like Courtney. I hadn't talked to Courtney in like 4 months just because of life. And like we instantly were just like chatted for like 2 hours the other day because, and it's like we had like, it's like nothing changed. Like it's like we're going right back into our friendship. Everything changed. We're just kind of catching up on like what life has brought each of us, busyness. And I think that's what is really nice about, I think military spouses are so resilient and are able to adapt, that like it is just kind of like falling back into that friendship. But sometimes it doesn't always work. I have fallen back into friendships with friends that I'm like, ooh, we just grew to be different people. We grew to have different like beliefs and things
And
like that.
that's gonna be the case with
And
anybody, right?
anyone, because we grow as humans. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. But it's okay to set boundaries with those friendships, and we've talked about that so many times. Like,
Yeah.
but
And
there's
it's
so many.
nice because I know that with fall, that means like all the fun little events that are coming up. They're down in El Paso at Fort
Oh,
Bliss,
I'm
and
so
like,
excited. I'm so excited for Georgia because we looked and there's a huge Renaissance fair there
mhm.
right outside of Atlanta. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be such a fun field trip thing for us to go to. Cause like that was one of my favorite things about living overseas was all of the festivals and things like that. And I have such vivid memories of going to the Renaissance fairs and all the different things. And I was like, I cannot wait to take the kids to this because now we are closer to a Renaissance fair, and I was showing them like pictures and stuff.
Oh,
They're
you can
like,
go to that little Germantown and go to the Christmas market too. That's in
yes.
Georgia. That would be cute too.
Oh, I need to look that one up too. Yeah, well, and then it's just like we're closer. Like, like we're Benning's only what, like our house I think was like just under 2 hours from Atlanta. So I was like, I can take them to all the things in Atlanta.
And there's a lot of
Um,
things in Atlanta.
there, there's going to be more opportunities to go see shows. Like we took Claire, my niece, to their first little theater show. We went and saw, there's this great theater near my mom's, which is kind of close to here. It's only 2 hours from our house here, but they have a great theater program. They put on these amazing musicals and shows throughout the year, and they did Frozen, and she loved it. I was like, oh, like I have someone else to go see like Broadway shows with. Uh, for those who don't know, I was a huge theater kid in high school and stuff. But like she was just like, oh my god, I love that movie. That was so good. And I was worried that she wouldn't want to sit still that long because like, shows are a little bit longer than a movie. And she loved it. So I was like, oh, this is great. So now we have like, more opportunities to go see things
Having
like
a
that.
daughter is so fun. It is just, it's
It
cute.
is fun. They get to do like Devlin's like meh, like whatever. And then but she's like, let's like she's girls and boys are so different.
Hmm.
It's kind of wild on how different they can be. Like he's always like, can you play video games with me? I'm like, I don't play video games. I don't play video games at all. I am horrible at it. It is not my thing. Mario Kart is probably the
Me
only
too.
game that I
My
am
family's
somewhat
obsessed with
decent at.
video games, and I'm like, I don't get it.
And I feel bad, but thankfully me and Devlin have bonded over like actual games, like board games, card games. We love playing card games together. So I'm like, I'll do card games with you because that's something that like mommy is going to enjoy. I just can't get over. I don't know if it's my ADHD brain or what, but like I can't get over like having to like click like 4 different buttons to do one thing and
I
then
get
still
super overstimulated. I think that's what it is. I didn't realize it when I was younger that that's what it is, but it's like
I've
nothing's
never
working the way I want it to go, and then I'm just like the sounds outside of me are like
I've
like,
never been a gaming person. I think like the extent of it was like a Game Boy. And I think that was because we travel so much between my middle school and high school years that like that was the only thing that was available. I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't
yeah,
have
I think
tablet or anything like
genuinely
that.
the only games I've ever really played were N64. We have like a
Yeah.
system now that like has all the N64 and like Sega games and stuff, and that's the only thing I want to play.
Yeah. I'm like the kids got me the Harry Potter game for Mother's Day a few years ago, like when
Oh,
it
I
first
know I
came out.
have it, but I haven't played it.
And
I
I
feel like
I
maybe
play
this
it.
cozy fall season, maybe we should just sit down and like make that our goal together to be like, let's
Listen,
do a video
I
chat and
enjoy
play Harry Potter.
I enjoyed it, but like when I get to like a battle scene or something where like I have to do like 3 or 4 things at one time, I'm like I literally have started just handing the controller to Jeremy during the battle seasons, and I'm like, I'm not even playing this game right.
Yeah,
Like
I
he's
just
doing all
button
the hard
mash
work.
and
I'm
we'll
just
lose.
doing the fun like prancing around the castle Lumos type of
Yeah.
thing. But I was like, and it was sweet because like they're like, well, mom likes Harry Potter, she's gonna love this game. I really wish this game was more like a Wii game though, like where I could like actually
That'd
do
be
the thing
so
because then I
cute.
would love it. Like I'd be like,
You probably do have like a VR game, probably.
well, you can do so. From my understanding, you can put it on the screen and look at it like you're in the screen. But then I think I would get just too dizzy doing that. Like Jeremy was talking about how like he bought the new Nintendo for him to take to Poland to play, and he's like, I'm gonna get the Harry Potter game so I can become. I don't remember what he said, but he had me like cackling because he's not a Harry Potter person. Like he's seen the movies with me. That's the extent of it. But he was talking about getting the game, and that would be. I mean, I wish that one was something you could play together. Like you could do like in game play because I think that would be such a fun game for us to play together.
Yeah.
The games that we can do that, like Call it. Devin always wants me to play Call of Duty with him, and I
Oh, I tried so
absolutely
hard when Dustin was
hate
young.
it.
Like that was his thing when we were like really young, and it was just the two of us. And I tried so hard, and I was like,
I would take 2 steps and be like
yeah,
done. And I was just like, this is not fun for me.
no, it
Like,
wasn't fun
can
because
I just
when you're
sit
just
here and
dying
read
and
my
stuff.
book while like I was like, I'd rather just sit here and read my book while you play. And so that's what we've always kind of done. Like we
We
did
did
that.
the high fantasy games, so like Diablo and stuff. It's actually kind of fun because there's not outside players. You're just playing the
Yeah.
story with them, and it is a story. So I've enjoyed it because it's kind of like reading a book but playing a book.
Yeah.
And so those ones are kind of fun, but I still suck. I still am like, oh, I'm dead again. Come save me. Oh, I'm dead again. Come
I
save me.
yeah. I'm just like I'm just more content to snuggle up next to you with my book
But
and
see,
you
this
like
goes with the topic so well because the cozy and I feel like cozy
yes.
the fall
But
time is
that's just
hot
a fun
time.
thing. That's a fun thing you can do. Like if you are gamers, and I know we have such a huge military spouse gaming community. Like I didn't realize how like
Which is a
big
great it is if you can get into it, it's a great pastime
but it's
for the
also a great
kids.
way to connect with other military spouses as well. Like
And
in your
I did play more when I was young. Like I
yeah,
played like all the Fable series and I loved because again Fable was
listen,
also like that. And when he was
Oregon
young,
Trail was my jam, and that is the only game that I've ever
oh, what
been
about
like,
Zelda? I've played
very
Zelda all the way through too. I love
good.
Zelda.
I
See,
think Oregon
some of those
Trail
are
was
really
my
great
jam.
because they take like months to finish. So if he's deployed, great. You
They
have
do.
something that's
Well,
something to focus on.
I where was I the other day? I saw that they came out with an Oregon Trail for Nintendo, and I was like, I need this because I need to see if this game is actually as good as I remember it, or if it was
Oh,
just
it's
so good.
definitely not.
I loved that game
I
so
did
much.
too, but it was like
But
the
I also
logistics of
like
buying
history though.
things and
Yeah,
shopping.
I'm a huge history person though, so I really enjoy history. So I think that was why I enjoyed that game so much because it was kind of like just another like, oh, I can die from dysphoria or whatever.
We
Like
have
it
the
was,
board game. The board game's pretty fun too. The kids
is
like
it?
playing
I didn't
that.
even know there was a
I don't
board
think
game.
we've ever survived. I think our
Oh,
whole family is dead by the end of the board game every single time. So it
I
is
know. I
that
think
would be
it
a
could
fun one for
be.
your family because it's a co-op. So you're all trying to win together. But
see, and that's the thing, like, I feel like in the fall time, like, it's just, like, because the kids are in school, you're finding different ways to connect with everybody after school, so you're doing more game nights, you're doing more
we
things,
do, and I love
like,
that because then we do
family activities.
charcuterie boards and we do chili nights and we do
Yes!
these like we do so much more fun stuff. We get movies because I'm not going out when it's 30 degrees. I'm not going outside. So
Yeah.
I love fall. I just love this whole
But
season.
it's there's just a lot of family activities too, I feel like. So, like, there's, the fall festivals, there's the pumpkin patches and all that kind of stuff, and,
And it's
you know
kind of before like the stress of holidays where you're like really worried about
Mhm,
Thanksgiving and Christmas and like having family, which all, family,
mhm.
adding family to the mix kind of just
Well,
makes
and it
things a
does,
little
like,
bit more complicated, if nothing else.
it and if you're traveling during the holiday season, it can be stressful. So, like I said, like, it's like the calm after the storm and the calm before the storm.
It
Like,
is,
it's
and
that
it's such a peaceful time. It is.
it is. And I love it. But I'm also like my birthday's in the fall. Like, I just
Right.
love the fall. Like, it's just like, always has been a special place in my heart. I do love summer though, but I'm also a water baby though. So, like, I love water.
That's me. Like
Like,
I
I love
only
being
like
by
the
water.
summer if it's involving water.
Water. Like, if I'm by water, if I'm in the water, on the water, I am in my happy place. So, like, I have 2 happy places. I love the coziness of fall, but I also just love water. Like, if I'm just, like, the beach, whether beach, lake, river, even a stream, I'm content. Like, I don't know, like, water just makes me, like, be zen, and I love it, and I'll always be there. But
Well,
I like
fall
fire
fall
too.
also means reading season, and I
It
know
is.
we haven't talked
Oh,
about books on here in, like, in months. We literally
listen, we
haven't,
haven't.
and I'm
We've
so
pulled it to
excited. There's so many fall releases, and there's so many, and I just like we
And
talked
I'm
about it
so
before the show.
scared because there's
I
so much
saved my
now.
fantasy for fall. I'm like, "Oh, it's coming."
It's so yes. I do a lot of reading in the fall. I mean, I do a lot of reading year round. Like, let's not get me wrong. I
Yeah,
was
that's
actually
super
laughing
normal.
because I only read 2 books in July.
My worst month too. I only read like 5, but most of those were audibles, like because we
I
were
did
unpacking and
too.
stuff.
I did too, and that was it. And I was just like, why? But I literally was like, I couldn't listen to anything, like, still right now, like, putting headphones in my ear, like, my ears are like, that's a weird side effect from my vertigo, like, I'm very sensitive to noises right now, but, like, I haven't driven in 2.5 weeks, so typically, I listen to my books when I'm driving, so Jeremy's been in the car with me every single time, so I haven't been listening to books and things like that, so I'm very excited, but I'll probably anytime my PCS this is such a weird thing because you'd think I wouldn't have time to like read a physical book or anything like that, but like my PCS months are typically my biggest
But it
book
makes
month.
so much sense though if you think about it because you're not doing all the crazy like kid running around. Like there's so much less
I'm
stuff
not
on the
watching
schedule.
TV. I'm not like I typically will listen to a lot. I mean, I always listen to more audible books. Like I that is how I consume a lot of my books is I do listen to a lot of audibles. Just because my job, the kids, all the things like that is just how I do it. If you don't think that's reading, you can keep going. Do what is good for you. But I do like the last like when we PCS here, I think I read like 3.5 physical books, which kind of blew my mind because I was just like, I rarely have enough time to read one physical book a month. Um, but and I'm already like I started the auction, the Hermione fanfic, and I think I'm already halfway through it, and I've only been reading it for like a day and a half. But I did read all day Saturday, Sunday because it was cold at the lake. But I'm so excited for some of the books coming out this year, and I'm like I'm hoping I don't need to do a reread for some of them because some of
What
them I
I'm
feel like
really excited about is so right now we have because it's too hot to work outside, we have the rowing machine in our bedroom. We have this huge space.
mm,
But as it cools down, I get to put that back out in the garage and we're going to turn that section of our bedroom into like a cozy reading area. And I'm so like, I can't wait for it. And it kind of sucks because we have to keep like transitioning furniture seasonally so that we can we have to exercise. I'm super into exercising fit right now. So I'm like, I have to have some way to do cardio when it's
I
102
know
degrees.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do that in Georgia because I plan on putting all of it in the garage because we don't like we're losing like an entire floor. Like the main living space is still about the same square footage, but we won't have like this
Just extra
basement
space.
space.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think I'm like, I need to invest in some like a really good fan.
I can't
Like,
do it. Even yesterday, I went
yeah, but
out and tried
you
to do my
step
cardio on a
outside
walk
and
at
like,
6:30 in the morning. I was out there at 6:30. By the time I got home at 7:30, I was like, I'm dying. I
yeah.
can't. This is too. It's not
Yeah,
helping.
you and heat don't get along. Like, I can do heat for a little while, but I don't again, I haven't lived in such a hot place though in a while. I mean, North Carolina was pretty hot, but I do think that, being up here in the mountains where it's been a little bit cooler and stuff like that for 2 years, like, again, like, that was how, like, it was from Alaska to Texas. That was a brutal, like, transition.
Mhm.
But going from, like, North Carolina to Alaska was a brutal transition too. So, like, it's just, reacclimating your bodies and things like that. But, finding that joy of, like, I'm so excited to, like I said, we have a little electric fireplace, so it puts off heat, but you can turn the heat element off. And I'm like, I just,
Mhm.
the ambiance, like, it still may be 90 degrees outside, but I'm going to make that inside look like it's 40.
We haven't
Um,
figured out how to use ours yet, so I'm not sure if it puts out heat or not. But I'm excited because then we can turn the heater down too, and then we just pay for gas instead, which is cheaper always. So
yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see. But I'm excited, yeah, just to have it there. The kids are like, we can hang our stockings. I was like, I know, like an actual place to hang your
I'm
stockings.
so
Yeah.
excited. I was like, the house that we're moving into has a gas stove, and I love a gas stove. But I think it also, like, just like put a little simmer pile on there just to
Oh
make the
yeah.
house smell like fall and stuff like that. Like, I love it.
I feel like we had to
Um,
relearn with our gas stove because we have a gas stove too, and the
yeah,
kids used to be scared of it, but now they're like, "Oh, it cooks so much evener." I was like, "Yep,
yeah,
that's why we do it. It's
yeah.
fine." But like,
Jeremy
it
was
is.
Jeremy was trying to talk me into changing it to electric. I was like, absolutely not.
No,
Like,
I love the
I
gas stove.
will always, like, our forever home will have a gas stove. Like, we had one in Alaska, and I was like, this is the best thing like, I
The only
love a
thing I
gas
hate
stove.
is cleaning a gas stove
It
is like,
is. But I also think cleaning a flat top is also a pain in the ass too. It's easier, but it is what it is. But I just, yeah, the finding joy, like finding things that spark your joy during any of these transitions, whether PCS, deployment, long
that's
training
been my
cycle,
big thing for the year
anything.
is I'm trying to like find ways to, because there's like that, like if you are stressing something in advance, then you end up having to live through it twice, and that
Yeah,
sucks. So I've been really, really working hard on my mental, like, hey, also
yeah,
not setting unrealistic expectations because then I'm just
yeah,
disappointed, and then it's like I ruin our whole beach trip because it didn't look like I thought it was going to look, and like
yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
that anymore.
I
And
think that's coming with age too. I think we've both learned over, like, once again, like, you can't, you can have control. But you also have to have that mindset of sometimes you just have to let it go and just go with the flow.
just like
And
be there. What's actually
be
happening.
there in
You'll
the
realize
moment.
isn't as bad as you think it is if you actually just zone out
I
and
know,
come back in.
that's why I keep joking about the Murphy thing, because I was like, even though, like, it felt like the worst thing, like, every time he's shown his little ugly face, like, it's like the worst moment, but then I look back and I'm like, that was hilarious. Like,
Oh yeah, oh it was funny.
how ridiculous it's, like, I can't, like, it sounds like I made things up. And so I'm just kind of like, it better be good this time around. Like, I better be able to just write, like,
Good
this.
story out of
I
it.
can up you on this one. I've got the story for that. But, you know, reading a new project. I'm really excited. Like, I started doing the bookbinding stuff here, and I just really didn't get into it. Like, I did my first bind a few months back, and then I didn't like it. Like, it didn't turn out the best way, but it was my first one. Okay. I haven't even put the book cover on it yet, but that is one thing that I'm going to do while Jeremy's gone, is like, I can just, like, at nighttime, like when I put the kids to bed, I'm not gonna have anything to do. So I'm like, this is gonna be the perfect opportunity for me to kind of like sit down and just relax and watch a movie or listen to a book while I do this. Cause I really enjoyed it when I did
Fall
it,
is
but I just,
it falls such a nice time to start over instead of like
yeah.
worrying about it so much at the beginning of the year. Like fall's a good time to be like, let's set new
See,
goals. Let's find new things
set
to
the
do.
goals in fall. And someone said this. There was someone who said that, like, don't set goals in January because they will likely not be tangible, because one, you might be setting unrealistic like goals, like these are things like you really want to do, and then you do it for like a couple weeks and then it drops off. Wait until early late spring or later to do those. I think fall is a great time to start an activity, any type of activity, anything that you're wanting to start, because you're not in the midst of chaos in the spring. You're not in the midst of the chaos of
The
summer,
holiday.
and then
Yeah.
you're not in the middle of the chaos of holidays. And it's also a great time, like if you're starting to do a craft project, like that could be used as a homemade gift, because homemade gifts are the best. Like I
Oh yeah,
I will
I need
die
to start
on that
thinking about
ship.
those.
I love homemade gifts. I love something that has thought behind it. And even if it's like taking a $4 bottle of wine and making it look super cute, like that is going to be more to me than like you getting me a coffee mug or something. Like the thought goes a long ways. And I think there's so many cool different things, like you can make, homemade vanilla, or, things that may take a few weeks that are ready for gifting. And you can do those in the fall. And it's just that coziness. Like I'm
Well,
making
it's because you have so
vanilla.
much more time indoors because
Yeah.
the light gets darker, right? And it's like, so you have less time to actually be outside anyways. So it's like, why not? Why not find
Unless
something
you're
that's like
unless you're
really
in a place that it's light all the time. But yeah, it's finding things to feel better and to your own. I think that's a huge thing military spouses struggle with, is like having something that they feel is them and not just taking care of the kids or being a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home wife or whatever the case may be. Find something that makes you feel better, whether it's joining a book club or a
Mhm.
running group or a gaming group or finding a new job or things like that. Like
And like you just
you
kind of mentioned a minute ago, is like if you are in that deployment season or weird schedules, like Dustin's going to be on nights a lot again,
yeah.
where like you can take that time though, like you'll feel lonely, but that's a perfect time frame for you to just do things on your own when kids are asleep and you have that time at night when you're not like, want to be cuddling with my spouse or anything.
Yeah.
You have time to do a craft, to watch a different show, start a new video game, whatever it is. And it
But
gives
that's
you
such a
actually
great
a
way for you
perfect
to connect with them
opportunity.
when they get home. Like, hey, like I read this great book. Like Jeremy used to read a lot when he was deployed, when he was younger. And so that's why I kind of keep being like, we should read a book together. Obviously, I'm not gonna make him read something that I know he's not gonna like. But like I know he would probably enjoy like some of these higher epic like
Dungeon
fantasy.
Carl, he would
Yeah,
love that book.
probably. He read like the books he read were a lot of like, oh, what's that? They have a TV show about it now. He read a lot of, what's the name of that author that's like got 1,000 books? Peterson? No. Anyways, he reads a lot of like military content books. So like anything that has like a military-esque
Mm.
background to it, which there's like a lot of great like high fantasy books that he would enjoy. I think he would have really enjoyed Red Rising series with me. I'm not dying on the ship of him not reading those with me so we can read the next 3 books together. But I also know that he just doesn't have a lot of time to do things too. So like he typically likes to play games. And I'm like, that's fine. Like you do you, boo, but everybody can do something together. And then you don't have to do the same thing. Like we just said that, like, if you are not a gamer, like I have no desire to learn how to play a game. Like I know my husband likes it. It's just not me, but I could still enjoy that time together with him reading a book, crocheting, whatever, something that you can do easily sitting side by side. And I think that's a great way to do it. And if you're during deployments, you know, I think it's so much easier now. Like I feel like when our spouses were deployed in the early like mid to late 2000s, like there wasn't all of these online games and online options. I mean, like it was still like just a phone call, and if you miss it, you felt like the world was going to end because you didn't know when the next call was going to come. Now there's so much more out
It
there.
is.
There's
And
all these.
I saw a TikTok yesterday, I think, that was just so cute of like the wife and the husband were video chatting over deployment and reading a book together. So he was reading like some of the smut scenes or whatever. And she's just laughing hysterically. And it's like, it's just such a cute time to like connect and just, well, like we didn't have that, but
Yeah,
I love that.
and not saying like you guys have it easy now.
No, I love it
It's
for
not
you.
the
I'm
case because
so happy
it's
for you.
me too. Like I am so thrilled that there are these opportunities now that were not in place, because like it was really hard, and deployment, no matter what, is hard. No matter if your spouse is sitting in Kuwait in a cushy little spot or in the middle of the war zone, deployments are hard, and your feelings are valid on that. And don't let anyone say like, well, you signed up for this and da da da. They're hard. Point. Period. Blank. Like they are. And so but finding things that can bring joy to you during this time is going to make this sense. I remember like, and I think we've talked about this in several episodes, but like, don't stop living. because it's going to make the deployment longer. It's going to put a strain on your relationship because it's going to pull over into your conversations and stuff like that. Go on vacation. I know it sucks. This took me a really, really long time to like, and it was more when I started having, when the kids got a little bit older, and I was like, we can't just sit at home and do nothing. Like, that's not fair to them. I want them to have the same experiences we had as kids. I want them to experience going to the lake or to the beach or, you know, Disney or whatever. Like, I want them to experience that. Your job, unfortunately, doesn't allow for you to go with us. And so I started taking them on trips. So like we've gone to like Dollywood during spring break, and I've done trips with them. Yeah, Jeremy would love to go with those, but he also knows that like he also had that like I don't want them to miss out on life too. So
Yeah,
that
it
doesn't
is. It's hard to go on, like, especially when it's going to see family, and you're like, oh man, he doesn't get to see it. But they did know what they signed up for joining the
did.
military. They did
Well,
know there was going to be times where they can't just take off. It's the government. You can't just be like, oh, we're going to put leave in. That's
especially like
not how
if
that
you're in a
works.
high training cycle time frame, and it also gets, I feel like it gets harder as they get older because then their job responsibilities are a lot more. So like,
Hmm.
Jeremy taking 2 weeks off for during like a first sergeant position isn't going to be as
Well, it's the same with like
like,
the babies, like that just
yeah.
got in. You're not going to be able to just take leave
Well, you
in the
won't
middle
have
of
the leave
Christmas because you
to,
want to. You're going to be the ones that are pulling rear D or like staying home
yeah.
during the holidays, and that sucks. But you don't even during Christmas if it's something that your family has like a huge reunion coming up and you really still want to go, but he can't get off. Maybe it's you just
It,
go because that's
and
just
you just go
you
like,
have to
and
still
it
live.
just
Yeah.
happens. I mean, the amount of times I've gone to Jeremy's parents without Jeremy, so many times.
Hmm.
The amount of times that Jeremy's missed out on things like family birthdays and things like that he wasn't there at, so many times. I'm really sad. Like, that's one of the things I'm really sad about this upcoming move is our nephew's first birthday. His party is like 4 days after we move, and unfortunately Jeremy and I are not going to be able to, like, we were just like, we're not going to drive up, but the kids are going to get to go because they'll
They'll
be
still
with
gonna
my
be
in-laws.
they'll be there for things and it's
And
fun.
we plan, so we're taking since my in-laws are taking the kids, we're going to meet them at my sister-in-law's house because she lives in Charlotte, which is like a halfway point for us, and we are going to go down there for the day and spend the day with them and get to, and I think I like that better because then now I get to have like one-on-one time with my niece and nephew.
Hmm.
Whereas if we went for the party, just the party, like we went to Holden's birthday party in April and there were so many people there, so I didn't get all the snuggles I wanted because everyone was sharing the baby and stuff like that, and I was just like, wah. So now we get to go down. We're going to go 2 weeks before his party, and we'll get to spend the whole day with them and then drop the kids off, and then we'll come home and finish moving. And we're fortunate, like, and that's not the case for everybody. I understand that because like some people are like, East Coast, West Coast family type of thing. Like, we're really fortunate right now to have our family nearby, and which is one of the reasons why I want to stay on the East Coast, because I think the kids are at the age where they're gonna remember those summers and the Christmases with their cousins. And that's what I remember as a young kid. And I hadn't seen a lot of my upper cousins and stuff during like high school years and stuff like that because we were moving so much and all the things. So first and foremost, you don't have to go visit family if that's stressful to you. Like, you can put that boundary in place. But and I think that took me and Jeremy, a really long time to be like, we can't use all of our leave to go visit family. So we typically only do Christmas time frame. The summer, our summer block leave dates where we typically use for whatever we want to do, whether we are going to the beach or if we're staying home, we're using that time frame to do something with us. And if we do something with the family, it's only for a couple days. It's not the whole time. And thankfully our family will travel to see us. So we are very fortunate that we have that. I know that's not the case for everybody. Um, and we alternate holidays as well. So like they'll come see us one holiday, we'll go see them the following holiday. And I think that's has worked out really, really, really well over the last few years, is having that expectation of like, we're not expected to travel home every year because it's a lot
It is.
and it's stressful. And a lot of people don't look forward to holidays because of that very reason. And again, it's okay to set boundaries.
It's okay to have
And
your own
yeah,
rituals and like your own holidays. Like this last year, what I think was our first, maybe second ever that we've done Christmas with family, and it was really fun. Like, don't get me wrong, it was nice to like, it was a room full of everybody we love, and but it was overwhelming. We got incredibly sick because there was so much
Yeah, that's right. You did
germs.
get really sick.
Like, it's like, would we have been happier but we didn't have that option. Like, we didn't have the option of being in our own home anyways. But like,
Yeah.
we love Christmas alone. And I know that because we're only 10 hours away, people are gonna be like, well, why don't you come out for Christmas? And it's gonna be like, well, I want to sit next to my fireplace and look at my Christmas presents under my tree.
And
And
it's a
that's
family
fine.
does. And I think as the kids get older, I think it's weird. Like when the kids are really little, like you really want to establish your own traditions, no matter what holiday it is, birthdays, things like that. You want to put your own traditions in place. Again, having that flexibility, because sometimes those traditions are even possible to happen depending on where you're at, or you can start new traditions. Like I know a lot of military families pick up traditions when they live overseas that American families don't necessarily participate in, or different things that they do. And I think that's just a fun way to learn
Yeah.
and bring into your family. I mean, like military community in itself is a huge melting pot. Like you have so many different things. I love having friends too, like all my friends. Like I remember Hannah asking us, like, would you guys come to this event if I hold it? And she was just kind of worried because like we're not Jewish. And I was like, hell yeah, I'll come. Like I would love to learn more like about your family traditions and stuff like that. You're my friend. Like I enjoy doing those things.
Yeah,
And
and that was
that's
we
a
did
fun thing to do.
a Christmas Eve with Rebecca a few years back, and because she has very like heavy Italian culture, they do like a pasta. Everybody brings a different pasta dish, and you do like a big pasta night on Christmas Eve, and like
Oh,
how
I
wonderful was that? And we
love
didn't know about
that.
that. Like it was just so cozy, and we just got to stuff ourselves with carbs before we went to bed for Christmas.
I love that.
Yeah,
And I
how
think that's
fun.
such a fun way to do, especially like if you don't have, like if you're not going home for the holiday seasons, you have a found family. Like, that's what I loved about us living in Alaska. Me and Jeremy had this conversation not that long ago because I was like, I'm really sad that we don't have mutual friends like we had in Alaska. Like, they were mainly his friends, and then I kind of like was introduced to his spouses and stuff like that. But like, and the other guys, and we had Easter at our house and Christmas, and it was a big potluck, and we all had like a great time. And I was like, I miss that. Like, I love that. Like, I wish we could find that somewhere
And I
else.
feel like that also just comes, we've talked about that, like with those Oconus stations, because
Yeah,
nobody
it's
can
true
leave.
because you don't get to go home.
And
It's
you see
really
it a lot
expensive.
less. It really depends on where you're at. Like down here at Bliss, I think you see it a little bit more because it's so far from
Yeah,
everything. Where
but
also like Campbell, everybody I've known at Campbell feels like that the community aspect isn't there, but it's because it's so central that it's easy
it's
to go
central. It's
home
easy to go.
for almost
Well,
anybody.
and I think like also like just because you guys are not at the same, like, so say like you move and you have that found family. Because I mean, we have a lot of service members and spouses who don't have family. There's so many people who they don't want anything to do with their family because of whatever reason, and that is okay. Like everyone has their choices in life. Visit your friends. Like if you have a good friend that lives somewhere else and you are not going home for the holidays, and they're like, hey, come down for the holidays, go down for the holidays, or vice versa. You do not have to spend your holidays with your blood relatives. Like you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. And I think that's okay to say. And it's okay to say, like, I'm not going to do that, and learn, and then be like later down the road, oh, I'm going to do that, because we grow.
Mm-hmm.
Our opinions change around things. You talked to me 10 years ago, I would be like, no, I have to go to my mom's, I have to go to Jeremy's parents. Like that is the rule. Like we have to go to a family members for the holidays. Now I'm going to be like, hey, we were invited to so-and-so's house for the holidays, up in Montana or whatever. We're going to go visit them this year. Like, we're really, really sorry. But thankfully my family would have been like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But it's okay. I feel like that's just
Just do
like, if
the
you take anything,
things,
it's okay to do anything that makes you survive
or
and
just brings you
thrive.
joy. What makes you happier?
What
If
makes you
it
happy?
makes you happier to go spend time with your friends, then go spend the time with your friends.
If
It's
it
the
makes you
holidays. You're meant
happy,
to feel joyful, isn't that the whole like? You're supposed to
it
feel happy, and if you're not
exactly.
happy going to your family, don't do that.
But I mean, like, apply that to anything, like anything and everything,
Mhm.
like not just even holiday. Like, if it makes you happy to throw yourself into work while your service member is gone, don't make anyone feel bad about that. If it makes you happy to stay home, homeschool your babies, and kind of be a recluse, then fine. It is what matters to you in your family union, not what your neighbor or your friend or your mom or your grandma or whoever is throwing their opinion your way, it matters only to you and you alone. Like, now,
Mhm.
obviously, like,
Find
we
your
would
joy
want to make
wherever it
healthy
is.
choices. Like, yeah, like, don't shut yourself away and be depressed. But if you are thriving and surviving doing that, then kudos to you. I would die being, like, so introverted, like, because I am a people person. I love talking to people. But I know that's not everybody, and that's okay. We all have different personality traits. We all have different things that make us feel comfortable. Find what that is and just do it. Who cares what people think? Like, who at this point, like, I know that with the social media, like, there are so many keyboard warriors and things out there who are just, I don't know, out to make anyone feel bad about themselves. Swipe away. Like, just don't let it get under your skin. If you going to, I'm even trying to think of like something oddball to say, but like, if you let your kids stay up until 10 o'clock every night, that's fine. That's you. If that works for you and then you sleep in until 9 every morning and start your day, who's to judge that? No, obviously, like, it would be different. Like, if my kids were over there and I'd be like, hey, 10 o'clock's kind of a late, like, they're gonna be like really grumpy for them because my kids are typically in bed by 9, like, at the very latest, like, they are in their bed by 9 o'clock. um Unless we're, and that's the thing, like, when we are visiting family, it stresses me out when they are up until 10, 11 o'clock at night, because I'm like, their asses are still gonna be up
Mhm.
at 7:30, 7:30 in the morning, every morning on the dot, no matter what time they go to bed. So then that just means they're just going to be like little gremlins the rest of the day. But, that's my choice. If I choose to do that, then fine. But if not, again, like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Roll with the punches.
So I hope that as you go into this beautiful fall season, that you're like, you just realize that there's so many things that can bring you joy, and it doesn't have to look like what social media says fall is. If you like to be doing summer activities in the fall and going to the pool and stuff, indoor pools, do
Mm-hmm.
that. You go
Do
out,
it.
like, drink
There's
your
summer.
margarita, do whatever it is that makes you happy, and who cares? And that's the best part about fall, is that we kind of get to become ourselves and, like, less stress of all the things around us, and do what makes you happy. I think if there's anything you get from this, is just find those cozy, happy moments and live them in the fall.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful fall. I think as this comes out, it'll be really, really close to fall starting. So I hope that you guys get to enjoy that together with your friends, your family, or just by yourself, which is nice too. I know I could go for a fall by myself. I don't know what I would do, but I feel like I would read every book I could possibly read. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So enjoy that, and we will catch you on the next one. We have a financial person coming on to talk to us about money, and so that will be a great one to kind of get right before the holiday season, so we can kind of budget and
I'm
hopefully
so
plan for
excited
the
for that
holidays.
episode. I'm
Me,
very excited for it. I think it's going to be a great episode and a great reminder that, once again, that's something that we just have to kind of have reoccurring discussions about, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited that we're having that right when I'm moving, because that's when I usually typically redo my budget. So it's going to be great.
it's perfect. All right, we will catch you guys on the next one, and as we like to say, Ruck Up Buttercup.
Bye.